Greetings, metalheads. Welcome to another edition of the Friday the 13th YouTube channel. Thanks for checking in. So today you're going to be watching an interview I did this week with Evergrey's keyboard player, Rikard Zander. Rikard, thank you for the interview, much appreciate it. So the band have just released a new album on Naplam Records entitled A Heartless Portrait, The Orphean Testament. If you don't have it, check it out, it's a fantastic album. As we all know, Evergrey are a fantastic band. So enjoy the interview. Please share on Facebook, Instagram and any other social media sites, especially Facebook groups. Thanks for watching. Stay metal. Cheers, folks.
Hi.
Hi, Rikard. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for doing the interview.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you remember me at all? Friday the 13th?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, we have met a few times. Tom knows me, but last time you played England with Camelot, I took you and Camelot for a drink in a bar after the concert in Sheffield.
Oh, okay.
In Sheffield, and we all got drunk.
Yeah. Typical. Yeah.
So how's your day been?
It's been good. And not been doing that much, but it's nice. Summer starting to come here, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, you've done some concerts recently, haven't you? You've played festivals.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we've done a few festivals, not as many as we wished for, but hopefully next year. I mean, you really have to be in good time to book those things. I mean, I guess they start booking next year pretty soon. So yeah.
All right. So how did the festivals go for you so far? Because I know Sweden Rock was one of them.
Yeah. Sweden Rock is really good. Have you been there?
No, never. I'd love to go.
Yeah, it's if not the best, it's one of the best festivals in Europe, I think.
I think a festival you really need to go to is called Headbangers Open Air in Germany.
Yeah.
It's somebody's back garden with a stage.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's a brilliant festival. It's just like really intimate and just like family.
Yeah, that's true. Sweden Rock is actually getting a little bit too big, I think.
Feel like vacuum.
It's so many people, but it's great for us heavy metal musicians that we have this opportunity to play all these festivals around Europe. It's really, really great.
Okay, so Rikard, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview for Friday the 13th YouTube channel. Just like to say, fantastic new album. I have reviewed it for you. It is online for you to check out. I will send you the link for this later on.
Yeah, great.
So I'm going to ask you some warm-up question first, very short, briefly. As a keyboard player, was that the first instrument you were learnt to play, or did you play guitar or drums first?
I think I learned. We always had a piano at home, so I learned piano first. But then I wanted to play the drums as well. But I had an older brother, and he picked up drums just before me, and my parents thought that was enough with one drummer in the family. So I had to stick with the piano. So I never learned to play the guitar. Well, I can do a few chords now, but piano is what I've stick to since then.
Okay, then. So what age was you when you started to play keyboards? What age?
Well, maybe I started when I was like 5 or something. I mean, since we always had the piano at home, I started pretty early. I've never really taken lessons. I had a few lessons when I was like 11, 12, but that was just a few. I didn't like. I always felt more when I was free in front of an instrument and have like it became like going to school, and that was not the way I wanted to practice music. So I'm pretty much self-taught actually.
Oh wow! So which keyboard players have inspired you in rock to become a keyboard player? Which ones inspired you?
First, when I got really interested in music, there weren't that much keyboard in music. I was more into like the new wave of British heavy metal, like Priest and Maiden, and but then I remember sitting and I had this little organ that sounded terrible, but I remember sitting and playing along with like Accept songs. They didn't have keyboard, but I played along with some songs. I actually told Udo this one time. This song "Can't Stand the Night" from Accept Breaker. I laid some keyboards on it, but then when there became more keyboards in music, I remember I love Mark Stanway from Magnum, and Mark Kelly from Marillion, John Lord obviously. Even though Purple was a little bit before my time, but I was just a heavy metal fan, so I was actually maybe more into guitar. Even though I didn't play, I was more into just guitars and drums, and not so much keyboard.
Okay, and did you ever think of trying to play Fast as a Shark on keyboard?
Oh, I did. I never tried that. I stick to the more softer Accept songs. There weren't too many, but
that would have been funny. That would have been funny for Udo to watch.
Maybe I should try that now. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you should. If you've ever seen Mambo Kurt, who does the Wacken Festival, have you ever seen him? He's like some crazy keyboard player that does Wacken Festival, but he does like dance songs and Judas Priest and Slayer on an organ with a drum machine. Really? It's really funny.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I have to check that out.
So I'm going to ask you about the band. Like, I mean, you've been one of the longest lasting members in the band with Tom, haven't you? You've been with him since 2002, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So I mean,
I joined.
So all the albums that you've done with Evergrey, do you have a favourite, and why? The past albums you've done.
Well, it sounds like a cliche, but I really think the last album is my favorite that I've been on with Evergrey. It's always hard to. I almost always say Solitude, Dominance, Tragedy when people ask me for my favorite Evergrey album, and I wasn't on that album, because it's so hard to be objective when you play on an album and you've been in the whole procedure of making the album. It's so hard to keep the distance from it. But I must say the last album, I'm really proud of it, and I think it turned out really good. And we're so happy that people seem to like it. So I think the last album is my favorite of the ones I've been involved in.
So your first album would have been Recreation Day, then, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I joined and toured on In Search of Truth, and then I was making Recreation Day. Yeah. Of course, that also, since that was the first album I made with, so that has a really special place for me as well.
So how do you see each album as a progression since you've joined the band? How do you see the music progressing?
Well, I don't know. I've known Tom for so long now, so. And also the other guys, obviously, since the lineup that is right now, I think this was the 5th album that we made together, and that really helps now, because we know what we can expect more or less from every member, and since everyone in the band writes, it's not that hard to come up with ideas to make an album. And I guess that's why we could make an album so fast after the previous one. I mean, it was only like a year ago we released it. So it's fun now. It's fun making music together, and we respect each other. We know when to back off and when to, we've learned how to handle each other, so it's progressed in a good way. It was great back then as well. It really was. It was fun. So nothing it hasn't changed that much, but it's become a little bit easier, I think.
Yeah, because like in 2011, you parted ways with most of the band members and did the album Glorious Collusion album, didn't you? And you toured the Camelots. and then you came back with Hymns for the Broken, which for me I think is a really good album. It's totally different for Evergrey style. It kind of reminded me of King's X in places.
Yeah.
Do you agree with
Yeah.
that? Bit of King's X in there.
Yeah, maybe some King Sex. I think Hymns for the Broken. It's really I should really give a lot of credit to Jonas, our drummer, for that one, because he and Henrik they were not in the band, but Jonas kept writing music. I don't know if he kept writing for Evergrey, but it sounded like Evergrey music. So when we got back together, he had a whole bag of songs and riffs. That pretty much was the ground for Hymns for the Broken. And I don't know, maybe it sounds a little bit special since he wrote the music when he wasn't in the band or something. I don't know. But it really became a new start for us, that album, I think. And after that, we've kind of kept, even though every album sounds different, we kept like a red line over every release after that, I think. And we used the same Jakob Hansen. Since Hymns for the Broken, we used Jakob Hansen, so he's almost like a sixth member of the band right now, because he really makes our sound that we didn't think was possible. We didn't think anyone could bring all that music, all those instruments, and make everything sound. I mean, I think he does a really amazing job with Evergrey, because it's so much. Evergrey is so much instruments and music, so it must be a real challenge for someone to mix it, to make it like a unit.
Yeah, because when you've gone from different labels, Inside Out Records, Great Western Union, then you've done AFM Records. Why did you leave AFM? Was it just end of contract and time to move on?
Yeah, it was the contract was out, and well, actually, I don't think they didn't want to do another album with us, and we had talked a little bit with Thomas from Napalm, so that was kind of an easy overgoing from AFM to Napalm. We had done a tour with Thomas, so we knew him a little bit. So I think we had a really great period with AFM, but maybe it was time for both sides to leave.
Okay, then. So I'm going to talk about the new album now. The Heartless Portrait, the Orphan Testament in brackets. What a hell of a title that is. It's really long.
It's really, really long.
So who came up with the title then?
Yeah, Tom, of course.
Was he drunk, as usual?
Yeah, no. He came out with A Heartless Portrait, and I think it was, well, we all agreed, and it sounded good. It was kind of a cool title. And then he had this story about Orpheus, some Greek mythology thing, Orpheus Testament, that I don't really understand even now. But he had a clear vision of that.
Right.
So that's how it ended up.
So no other titles for the album?
What's that?
No other titles for the album?
No, that was it.
Okay, so who did the artwork for the album? Has this artist worked with you guys before?
Yeah, exactly. Gianni is a guy from Greece. He made Escape of the Phoenix.
It's a very, very dark album cover, and it reflects on the music as well, because the music's very dark on this album. It's probably the darkest thing you've done in many years. Do you agree?
The cover,
yeah, and the music as well. Do you think it's
the music as well?
Yeah,
that's always hard to say, actually. So some say, oh, it's so dark, it's so heavy, it's so different, but it's so we never think about that. It's not like we decide that we're going to do a darker and heavier album. We just do songs that we like. We do the songs as best as we can. So, but if you say so, maybe you're right.
Yeah. So how long did it take to record this album? I presume you did it in separate studios because of the lockdown situation.
Yeah, it's and these days you really only need a real studio for drums, because you can do, I mean, keyboards I can do at home. Tom does the vocals at his studio, and guitars. We made the drums and bass in what's it called? It's a studio in top floor studios in Gothenburg.
Okay.
So we recorded the drums and bass live there. But other than that, we made all the overdubs in like different locations.
So how long did it actually take to record this album? Total time with the pandemic, obviously.
Maybe it took like when we let me think, when we started, I don't know, I guess it took a little bit more than half a year or something. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, because if we keep a lot of stuff from like the demos when we, I mean, it's if the keyboard sounds good on the demos, we don't change it to because it's no point really. And I think we did that with the guitars as well. We tried to record the guitars and vocals as good as we could when we did the demos. So we kept a lot of the takes in the final result as well. So it's kind of hard. It's not like in the old days when you decide, okay, now we have 5 weeks in the studio and we record everything. It doesn't really happen that way. But I mean, the songwriting and recording a little bit more than half a year, I guess, something like that.
Do you prefer doing the old way where you're all in the same studio together? Is that more something you'd like to go back and do, or do you prefer doing the way it is now?
That would be it would be a cool thing to do, but it's like too expensive, and you don't need it. It's I mean, if we could afford it, it would be really cool to rent a studio for that long, so you can do everything there. That would be really cool, but we don't really have the budget for it, and since we can do it in our own homes and studios, it's not really necessary to do like that.
Okay, now just before we talk about the songs, I mean, you've got like 10 songs in here. Was there any special guests on this album? For people that don't know, did you have any guests on this album?
No guests on this album, no.
Okay, then, so the songs on the album, you've got like Sabres, Midnight Calls, Obulus, Call Out to the Dark, The Orphan Testament, Reawakening, The Great Unwashed, Heartless, Blindfolded, and Wildfires. I mean, who came up with these titles? Was it all Tom?
Yeah, Tom been writing 100% of the lyrics on this album. So he came up with all the titles, yeah.
So what's your favourite songs from the new album? Do you have any particular ones yourself?
I like Call Out the Dark, and I like Orphean Testament. I like all of them, but maybe those two are my favorites on the album.
So how many videos have you done for this album? Promotional videos, lyrical videos for people out there that don't know. How many have you released so far?
We released three videos. I don't think we've done any lyric videos. They did the label put out some I don't know what they call it, visual video or something. It's like a vinyl player going for a Call Out the Dark. I don't know what that is really, but
what did you think of that? Was you happy with it, or do you think, oh my god, what have they done?
No, I think we made 3 videos before the release, and then when the release day, they wanted to like give an extra push for one more song for like to get in on Spotify lists and stuff like that, like a sing. It wasn't a really single, but like a single, and then they made this visualizer video, whatever. But I don't really have an opinion about that. It's nothing. It's good, I guess.
So how well has the album reviews been for you so far from the press and your fans? What reaction have you been getting for this new album?
Really, really good, I think. I haven't I don't think I've read a bad review at all, actually. But really good, and also from like more. I mean, with all respect, but like progressive metal site on internet maybe reviews a new Evergrey album a bit different than like the local Gothenburg newspaper, if you know what I mean. But even in the more objective press, it's been really good. That maybe from other albums hasn't been that good, but with this album, it's been really, really good everywhere, I would say.
Good. So how long is the contract, if you don't mind me asking, with the Naplam Records? How long are you going to be with those guys for?
We got at least one more album, and then they have like an option for a third album. So it's I guess it's up to them. We make one more, and then it's up to them if they want to make a third as well.
Okay, then. So, because obviously you're touring in September, I believe, this year around Europe and England. I'm going to come to the Manchester show.
Great.
So maybe we can have a beer backstage and have a chat.
Yeah, you bet.
To catch up. So
yeah, definitely.
Have you guys talked about doing a new live DVD? Because it's been some time since you did the last one.
No, I don't know. We haven't really talked about it. We released a live recording, or AFM released a live recording not that long ago, but we haven't really planned to make a DVD. I don't know if it's so darn good, the one we made 2004. So we don't know how to top that.
Do you know? I don't think I've seen that one. I've got the one on Inside Out Records you released many years ago. I have that one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You don't have the AFM.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Okay.
I just check that out.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Exactly.
So you may be doing a live DVD. There might be talk of doing a new DVD in the future.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
So what happened with the tour with you guys and With Them For? Because you were supposed to be touring together last year. Obviously, COVID stopped it. And now you're touring with two other bands. What happened there? Why are you not touring together like you would have been? What happened?
I have no idea what happened. Why maybe they couldn't do it this... Because really this tour was just postponed to... It was supposed to be last year. And then we do it this year, but I don't know why they're not going with us.
No, you've got two other bands. Okay. Two bands I've never heard.
Right. Okay, I actually don't know. I don't know why that is.
It would have been a great tour.
Maybe they were booked for something else. I don't know.
Yeah, it would have been a great tour because two bands. Yeah. Fantastic. I mean, you guys haven't done a bad album at all. You've always done great albums. I mean, like I said, I like Hymns for the Battle because I think it's a brilliant album. Like, it's got that King's X vibe in there. That's why I like it, because it's different. But you guys have done solid albums constantly, even from the first album.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You know, I've actually got the original pressing of the first album on GWR Records. Yeah, on CD.
Right. Oh, right.
I think I reviewed it many years ago when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
Because Friday 13th has been going now for 33 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I used to be a fanzine back in the 80s.
Oh, cool. Oh,
so what plans have you got then? What other concerts are you doing before the tour kicks off? What more festivals have you got booked?
Actually none. So that's kind of a drag because we really want to do some more. But we've done all the festivals for this year. If not something comes up real fast. But then we actually don't have anything until the tour kicks in September.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw you guys was Bloodstock. We met at Bloodstock. It was the last time you opened up first thing in the morning. You all looked pretty drunk after being on. But it was a hell of a show.
Like always. Oh, yeah. Well, thanks.
Well, Rikard, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview. Do you have anything to say to the people that are watching this on YouTube?
Yeah, I really would appreciate if you come and see us live. Because we're doing this tour now in September and October. So check out the dates, and if we're anywhere near you, so come and check us out.